Hey, what's up? Welcome to Creative Emotions. I am your host, Vaquita Q Taylor, and I have Chef Wilson in the building with me. What's up, Chef?
Oh, you got it. Enjoying the summer.
Enjoying the summer.
Yes. What's this, second week?
I am the sunshine, yes.
Yes,
I
you
bring
are.
the sunshine. I want to welcome you guys to the show. You're going to get encouragement, motivation, transformation, information, empowerment, and you're going to get these good vibes. Listen, and there ain't nothing you can do about that. So I have a few announcements before we start the show this Friday. Poetry and Conversations, and I have an awesome and amazing feature, Mr. Caesar Toriano. He's going to be in the building. The address, 21573 Grand River. The time is 8 to 11. There is a $10 cover. I want you guys to come in the building. When I tell you Poetry and Conversations is such a vibe, it's such a vibe. So make sure you guys come on down. That's this Friday, the 30th, 8 to 11. Again, Caesar Toriano is the feature. I want to come and bring this great news about my book signing. I've been talking about this for a minute, but I finally finished, and I am excited about it. The book signing will be July 23rd. It will be right here in the studio in the conference room, 18000 West 9 Mile from 5:30 to 8. Again, that's July 23rd. I'm so excited. The title is I Want My Own Husband, Mindset and Standards on Marriage. So make sure you put it on your calendar and save the date, all right? So this is a live show. You can call in at 313-266-2811. Make sure you guys call in, chime in, because you are a part of the show. I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited that you're here. If this is your first time, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I thank you so much for joining. You could have been anywhere, but you're here watching, so I appreciate you. So this show is serious to me when you think about the climate women have been in. But this is not to bash men. This is not to bash women. We are holding everybody accountable when it comes to these certain things that, we're going to bring up. I believe this has been strategic when it comes to us being uncovered. So today's show is called Uncovered. And what does that look like? What do it look like for the men, the women, the children being left uncovered with prayer even? You ask people now, do they pray? And they like, no, they put everything together with church. And church is not, that's a place that you go. That's something extra for your already praying life. That's your already saved life. You're supposed to go in fellowship and don't forsake the assembly. But I want to encourage you, when you think about being uncovered, like what does that really, really mean to you? If you are a man watching, a woman, a child, a teen, if you're watching right now, I want you to share this video. I want you to get engaged with the conversation. Again, you can call in. You can be a part of this show. If you're just joining, you are here watching Creative Emotions every Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We are here live, bringing things to make you the best version of yourself, whether that's encouragement, motivation, information, transparency, because nobody's perfect. We never come to this platform like we know it all, but we want to show and tell what we know. And so I just want you guys to be encouraged with that. Again, today's show is Uncovered. So I'm not merely speaking on veiling, because everybody think when I say uncovered, people automatically go to women being covered. That's not what I'm talking about. Even though it's okay, because ain't nobody wearing nothing nowadays. Jeez, I feel bad for y'all men.
You should rename it Exposed.
Hey, we might have to do a show on that for real. No, listen, I'm not talking about that, even though we should talk about that, because I feel like, it takes away from our value a lot of times when people just see your outside. A lot of times they won't get to see how good of a person you are. They see what you have on. They see how you represent yourself. And so I always tell people, man, just make that first impression the best impression. And that's on yourself first, for real.
Absolutely.
Because they don't have nothing to do with nobody else. But in my opinion, there has been an attack on this generation, women and men. And I feel like that's the best relationship in this planet. A man and a woman's relationship. And I'm not talking about romantically. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about us just coinciding, living together and coexisting, being in our own spaces and coming together and, just showing our good parts. I show what I have, you show what you have. You know what I'm talking about?
I agree, Q. And when you said it's been an attack on both parties, I agree with you 100%. So it gets back to looking at tearing down the foundation of the family.
Yeah.
So if the ones that are supposed to be building the family together are attacking one another, how can we ever come together? Mm-hmm. And that's the plan.
That's the part.
So if we can keep doing this, family structure would be a fairy tale. It would be something you see in a movie.
Wow.
You read in a book.
Oh,
that you get a about it, drop a tear, you know. So that's why this attack is taking place with the men and the women, because we are supposed to be building together.
We are.
And then after we come together, who's looking at us? The children. I like watching programs about animals. And actually, when the animals are out hunting, the cubs are sitting back watching.
So they can learn how to do it. You better make it plain.
So what are your kids sitting back watching?
Are they seeing you fighting, arguing,
absolutely.
loud, disrespecting the man, disrespecting the woman, hitting the woman?
Absolutely.
And so this is nothing new, but just to name a few, in the last few months, I've seen a few stories about women being attacked, women being killed. Again, this is not a somber show. If you are watching, I thank you so much for watching, because at the end of the day, I always come with some resolution. So we're going to talk about it and we're going to deal with it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it.
But stories that have been coming up, let's just start in Detroit, because that's where I am. Let's just start in Detroit. According to Fox News, Stacey Smith, 48, was found by her daughter, strangled and set on fire, allegedly by her fiance. So he is locked up. Someone that I know is really good friends with her, and just to see that and then go back and look at the story, it kind of just touched my heart. And this was about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks. Her 19-year-old daughter says, it's very unexpected. This is her quote. It's very unexpected because I never seen him hurt her. I've seen arguments. They were arguing that day, but I never saw him put his hands on my mom or get physical. So this just shows that things can just go left really quick. And so we have to be mindful of that. According to the Detroit News, June 1st, a 30-year-old woman was found dead after a domestic assault at the MGM Grand. A 33-year-old man who claimed he had harmed his girlfriend led police to the scene, where she was found unresponsive and pronounced dead at the scene. Another 34-year-old, this was just last week, 34-year-old woman found in a motel, no suspects. And when you think about rape of the older women, this was a month ago? The man that is mind-boggling, because again, this is nothing new. This stuff has been happening. It's been happening for decades when it comes to, different things happening to women. But the question is, why are we so uncovered? What is happening? Who is protecting the woman? Again, we will get to the men, we will get to the children, but I'm asking the question, who's protecting the women? If the women are being attacked, if one thing, get a person mad and now you taking a person's life, where are we with this thing? We really need to think about this. But case after case, women, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers even, a woman just got stuck up at the ATM. She definitely was a grandmother. It's like, are the men teaching are you teaching your sons to protect women? This is a real question.
When I think of that, I think of a position. So even for the ladies, if you feel like you're not covered, you have to look at how you positioning yourself. Don't position yourself in situations that maybe ladies shouldn't be in, right? Out late, ATMs. Why are you even there by yourself?
Okay.
I remember my sisters had to go to school before us. So we had to get up, walk 4 blocks down to 7 miles, stand at the bus stop, wait till the bus came. That was being covered. Okay. Right? Not saying I got this. I'm not worried about it. So ladies, I will say, watch how you positioning yourself. I know society may be telling you that it's an exciting thing to move in masculine energy, but you're really not built for that. Man, we do. We have to cover them and cover ourselves.
Definitely.
If your dad wasn't around, know that you may be operating in emotions if you were just raised by your mom, right?
Yeah, unknowingly.
Get a mentor, right? Channel that. If not, watch some shows so you see how men are moving, how we're handling things. I say it all the time. For men, your best power is your silence, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes in these moments, if you understand and you get into the word, you understand that women are full of emotions.
Yeah.
So you know if any type of conversation gets heated, where they're going with it. So at that point, you have to sit back because you already know emotions going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
So don't throw yours in there, you know, because it's like having two ladies in the room.
Oh, we.
You know, and I don't know, you know, and I'm pretty sure you guys seen two women argue. You know, no one's really winning. So I would say for women, watch the way you position yourself. And man, you know, let's just know what you're lacking, right? Mm-hmm. And know what you are confronted with. So you got to get into the word. Ladies, man, get into the word, and then you'll understand what God made you to be, and you can fall back in that. And I think we'll see less situations like this in the news.
Yeah. Just taking accountability. So this case that I'm going to bring up, of course, everyone has been talking about it. It has been blowing up on the news, social media, and it's the hottest topic. I never thought we would get to a time where we're applauding death, deeming it justifiable, no matter what. It's kind of sad. It's really serious. But I want to show a video, and it is very disturbing. Just to let you know, I'm sure, you know, if you don't like, you know, seeing certain things, it's not too much, but it is very, very disturbing. So I want you guys to take a look at this video, and we're going to talk about it after.
Ladies, get your food. Who? Get in the car? Who? Lady. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm going to knock you out. Oh, my brother, I said one more thing, I'm going to knock you out. Oh, say one more thing, I'm going to knock you out.
Oh, that quick.
Yep.
That quick. Everybody life changed that quick. And ain't no telling how long they were going before that even happened. But a Chicago woman, Carlisha Hood, 35, and her 14-year-old son had an altercation with Jeremy Brown, 32, who punched Carlisha after the altercation, leading to her 14-year-old son shooting him, causing death. This is pretty intense. But according to the Chicago Sun-Times, this is updated. Charges since then have been dropped based upon facts, evidence, and law. The prosecutors say we are unable to meet our burden of proof in the prosecution of these cases. And so going back, she was charged with murder. I mean, her son was charged with murder. She was charged with a couple of different things. Bond was $3 million. But this story right here, it was so many things that I just want to talk about in this story. If you are just joining, we want to welcome you. Thank you so much. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We're talking about being uncovered. And it's not just women, it's men, and it's our children. And so we really have to get down to the bottom of this because we see a lot of people just really on the ziggity boom, okay? Nobody got to chill. Nobody's stopping and taking a breather. So it's a few things that I seen with just the video that we were presented with, right? Mm-hmm. He was looking for her to say something. Like, say the wrong thing. Me personally, I watch body cues. I pay attention to body cues. And I'm at a place now where I have nothing to prove. You have to be at that place where you have nothing to prove, which means you're not going to argue with a quote-unquote fool, because a person can argue by themselves. I'm just not doing it. That's just me.
Absolutely.
When I seen his chest puff up, honey, I would have been like, give my money back. I'll just go somewhere else, because the way the climate is right now, everybody is on 10.
Yes.
They on tip. But what's a couple things you've seen that just kind of stood out to you?
I seen two people operating out of how God made them to be. I seen a man full of emotions and hurt, and then I seen a woman full of masculine energy, and neither one of them was bagging down.
Wow. Yeah.
Neither one of us was bagging down. So when I looked at him, it just really in that evening, it didn't really have to be her at that particular situation, but someone was going to end up getting the bad end of the stick. Because this guy was already, when he walked in, I'm not sure how his day went,
Right.
but it seemed like he was standing there with a bunch of disrespect.
Something was on his shoulder, definitely.
Not absolutely. So I seen that on him. And then I seen him acting out of emotions, right?
Yeah.
And then when I looked at her, I seen her not bagging down.
Yeah.
With the masculine energy. Not saying, like you said, I would have looked at this guy and be like, you know what?
Not today.
Not today.
Or
Right?
tomorrow. I'm done.
However, when I looked at both parties, they have been operating in this energy for quite a while, but not having this sort of outcome. I looked at him, and he had been doing this for a while, and maybe people had been bagging down,
Yeah.
right? And then I looked at her, and she bagged down a lot of people with that energy also.
Like, I'm right.
I'm
'Cause I used to be
and
like that.
Yep, I'm right. The masculine energy going on, him with the emotions. But for whatever reason, up until that day, this had been working for this person, these individuals.
Yeah.
And that it was so much confidence in it. She had confidence that her getting loud was going to shut him down. He had confidence, say one more word.
And
that
I'm
was
going to knock you out.
And the person usually backed down. And when I looked around the room, I seen cameras out, but I seen no one stepping in.
Nobody stepped in.
So now we get to the point where I said people do things for the grams. So when they watched this situation heat up, everybody, I think, at that particular time said, hey, I'm about to get the most likes on my page because I'm going to get full footage.
That's
when
crazy.
I came in, and that's when the era I came up in,
Yeah.
someone would have stepped in.
Somebody would
Be
have
like,
come on
look,
now,
calm
y'all.
down.
Yeah.
Or someone would have grabbed her, like, look, it's not worth it. Hey, look, so what's your order number? Okay, I'll bring it out to your car. Go sit in your car. I got you. Well, I ain't paid for it yet.
I'll pay for it. I would have paid for the food.
Just go sit in the car, right? At the time when a young man stepped in the door, I would have watched the room like, oh, this is about to get real ugly. I would have got them both out.
Yeah.
But everybody pulled the phone out. Even it was a person in the camera view with their phone out.
Oh, wow. So everybody had their
So
phone.
I seen that part.
Then
Everybody
they booked up.
Right, after they got the footage and they wanted to post it quick. So Q, I seen all that going on. So what did you see when you looked at the room? Is there anything else that...
So I just felt like he was looking for her to say something. Like, she was talking to her son and saying, go get back in the car. So the narrative that she called her son to come and shoot him and all that, that was thrown out the window right there because she said, go get back in the car. Go get in the car. She wasn't talking to him. He talking about, go get in the car. Who you talking? Like, he ready. He was like
Absolutely.
it was almost like a bomb, like just ready. He was ready to blow. I wouldn't think that he would put everything in him. And I almost feel like he was a little hurt after he didn't get her down with the first punch. Because he put his all, he pulled his leg back, pulled his hand back, and he wanted to mean what he say. So when he didn't knock her out, quote unquote, it seemed like he got a little angry. Now he came back, for some more, but also intoxication. Him staggering and all that. Like, it just, a couple of things are in the play. And we all can say what we would have done, right? We all could have been like, oh, heck, I would have blew that nigga, whatever. We could have all said that. But you never know until you're in that situation. And frankly, I wouldn't want to be in that situation. I just know by the person that I am, I step into those type of situations. Not when it's all going crazy, but I'll be that person that's like, wait a minute, y'all, come on, y'all. Or try to just be that person. So I'm not saying in that situation what I would have done. I can say what I would have done. I don't want to know because I don't want to be in that situation. I got to be very careful with my words.
I've been there before.
I ain't pulling out no phone. Yes. I ain't doing nothing. But you talking about being there as far as just losing your temper?
I've been there before being confronted with that sort of energy in a room. And I'm going to tell you, it never turns out good for either person.
Yeah,
right?
It don't. It leaves scars. It's hurtful.
Right. You can only learn from that point. And that's why now I can recognize it. I read a temperature in the room. I know when someone's operating out of truly what God made them to be.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you know what? It doesn't make sense for me to try to make sense out of this situation.
It ain't no
Well,
sense.
clearly, I'm going to be misunderstood because they don't even understand themselves because they operating out of what God made them to be.
For sure.
So this is going to take lessons in life, right? So I can humbly step back now.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing I can really show this person in that moment. You know, let God do it over the period of time. It'll mean more, right?
Listen, after you seen that fist balled up,
Oh, yeah.
just know that happens in closed doors. If he was comfortable enough to do that in public, in front of everybody, even the people that was serving the food was like, they did a whole little smoky.
And since you said that, it wasn't her first time in a physical situation like that, Q.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she didn't go down with the first punch.
That's what I said.
She's probably knuckled up with men before, and she probably thinking it's going to take more than that.
Women need to stop. Don't be fighting with no man. We cannot fight no
A
man.
true woman would have went down with that first one, but that just showed me that she's been in that situation before fighting men.
Listen, don't fight no man. We ain't got nothing to prove. I don't care how tough you think you are. If you from the streets or wherever you at, I'm telling you right now, when you see a man like that, do not add. Do not add. Do not test. We have nothing to prove. Just walk away. And that's from a woman to a woman. Now, you can tell a man what to do, but I'm telling women, now, I've seen a lot of it. Women going up, smacking men. And I'm telling my son right now, don't you put your hands on nobody. He like, what about if she hit me? So a lot of men on that. You hit me, then I'm going to hit you. So I'm saying, don't hit anybody, especially don't go fight no man. It's clearly a difference. And it's just, we just have nothing to prove with that. But did y'all see the anger, the frustration, the rage that came from this young man? That's what I seen, rage. It was rage.
I seen years of disappointment, disrespect, not knowing, and so when that woman stood in front of him, this was like just a cherry on the
But
topping.
she wasn't even showing no aggression.
The way she was talking to him, it didn't make a difference. The little bit with a person like that was all that was needed. Like I said earlier, when I looked at him, someone was going to get it if it wasn't her that particular day.
Wow.
That's just where his energy was at.
It was already on one.
And if you don't know how to read the room, you don't get into your word and understand about emotional intelligence, and we get to read a lot more and stop strolling, you'll learn a lot. Okay.
So do this woman get blamed for not shutting up?
I'm not, like we said, we're
Can't
not going to
blame
use
nobody,
the blame.
but-
We're not using the blame,
Yeah.
but if you're not being educated, right? So we're missing a generation, like you said, of the matriarchs of the family saying, hey, don't you get in a man's face.
Please.
But they don't say that anymore, right? So she didn't look to be that young, but maybe misinformed.
No, she was 35.
Okay, so she was misinformed and uneducated. So that era went a long time ago, right? But we have to sit down and start talking to these young men and young ladies again, right? And stop, quote unquote, living your best life. Now, how can you teach anybody anything if you always somewhere on a trip, you go on partying or whatever? They're raising themselves.
Oh,
and they're
kids.
just trying to figure it out. So, they figure out everything about sex, everything by internet, by social media, if you're not teaching them. So she's not to blame, but she was just not properly educated, neither was he
And they
about
just-
the role God made him to be. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they just really had to, have a little intervention. That needed an intervention. I'm not going to lie.
That did.
Again, if you are just joining, we are talking about being uncovered. This conversation specifically, we're talking about what just happened in Chicago with the young man, I forgot his name. What is his name? Jeremy Brown, 32. was shot and killed by Carlicia's 14-year-old son after altercation. And so we're just talking about this. This is not the gist of our conversation, but we're bringing it up because the temperature has just been a little off with women and men. And again, this is the most important relationship that we will have is with each other, because then we have our generations coming after us that we're going to have to show them how to love one another, how we love each other. And it's not looking like love when it goes to the songs that we listening to, these different things where, you know, F this nigga and I don't need him and I'm this and I'm that. And I have never heard verbally so many women saying they don't need a man and despising the very thing that we've been wanting. Like, it's crazy to me. You know, so I tell women, be careful what you asking for. Be careful with them songs that you rapping and singing. Be careful what you listening to. Be careful with the energy that you get from your different friends and different people that you're around. Men don't like that hard, strong energy. They just don't.
Hey, no, it's
I
not
don't think they
attractive
want to
at
be,
all.
you know, with themselves. And again, this situation is, we're not blaming anybody. We did talk about the different things that were wrong with the situation from both parties, but we're not blaming anybody. But we definitely can learn from this. And so if you have anything you want to talk about as far as this situation, you can call in 313-266-2811. This is a live show. But this is not justifiable, you know, in no type of way. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching. Thank you so much for joining us. But it's self-control taught to men.
Absolutely.
Do you teach your son self-control?
Yes, I do.
I mean, I do as a woman. I teach my son all the time.
Being in some positions where I had to apply it myself and learn how to, yes, right? And believing that I already knew about it, but then when you are approached with a spirit that's been passed on for a few generations that nothing but got stronger, what you understood about self-control, I'm just going to use like in the 70s, and you dealing with some 2020 disrespect over years. That, man, you know what I'm saying? That's like an old recipe. So we have to sit back down with our sons and say, hey, things are moving a little bit different, right? We're moving a little bit different from what they did maybe 25, 30 years ago. So we have to reassess this thing.
But it needs to be taught, though.
It needs to be taught. So I would say the one thing that when I did some research and it got back to when it talked about a man covering a woman, it was always from a spiritual perspective, right? So not from a financial perspective. So we need to get back to the drawing board with the word, right?
Yeah.
And then know that even churches approach preaching the word in a different way because they know the world has changed.
Definitely.
It has changed. So we got to sit back down. And if it's been missing because it hadn't been discussed in 2 generations, you're really behind. Okay? So I would say, just to answer your question, yes, I do. And I tell my son and my daughter.
I teach my son.
I made all the mistakes for you with anything in life, right? I'm life certified. So let me tell you what I know about this particular subject. Dad don't know everything, but I'm going to tell you about what I do know. Yeah. Right? So
I definitely tell my son, you got to have self-control. And I take these, you know, different scenarios and clips and show him your life can be changed just like that.
Yes.
Your life can just be changed, whether you on one side or the other side. Your life can be changed. But my biggest thing is nobody helped. And so it was a lady in the background, I'm not sure if that was his girlfriend, but she says, he told you. He told you. So are we condoning that type of behavior by saying, this man said he gonna knock you out, so you need to listen to him?
I believe when I listen to that.
She said, he told you.
We're living in a society, I believe, where everyone wants to be poured into, but they don't want to pour into anyone. So stepping in and cooling that situation would have been pouring into someone.
Definitely.
I remember years ago when I was a young man, if it was an older man in the room, he would figure out a way to get that young man to the side and say, hey, look, brother, believe me, you don't want to do this, right? And that's pouring into that young man. Like,
What
I know
then?
I know you're upset. It's been lost. I told you.
Because that man ran up out the door, honey. That was an older cat at the door.
At this point,
He
like
was
I
out of
said,
there.
we need a different approach. So we went from being able to pull a young man to the side, right, for generations to go by. And at that point, you may have looked at the young man and said, well, if things get physical, I think I can handle him.
Mm-hmm.
But with everybody shooting nowadays,
Ooh.
no one wants to step in the middle of anything.
That's true.
Now, back in the day,
Because ain't
they
nobody
say,
fighting.
right, back in the day.
They go into the car quick.
Right, you can take him down to the floor and like, look, just calm yourself down, right?
Everybody
Everybody
coming
going
for
straight
you
to
now.
the trunk, right? So we're dealing with like, go back, we're dealing with a world of people who feel disrespected,
Yeah.
right? So you have to teach your children differently about self-control when you're dealing with a world of people where people feel disrespected already.
All the time.
Right.
I believe in being in the right place at the right time, though.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like we need to be led before we, jump off and just, get in certain situations. That's not what I'm saying. Because people be like, why you doing that? Why you say something? I definitely do it when I'm led. And the times that I have, it has, dissolved. The situation has dissolved. Just being a problem solver, being somebody that's approachable, being somebody that has the right heart and, coming into the situation, not grabbing on nobody and going crazy, but really just like sister, brother. I call people sister, brother. That gives you a different perspective on how they coming to you. Like, come on, don't do this. Don't do this. Like, I've done that a lot of times, and even in my profession and my job, having to, be that person in that role to calm people down when, you at the job and they about to go at it. And so it's natural for me. But I know as women, we do have to be careful because, we can get hurt too. So I say be led. I believe in right place, right time, but be led before you go jumping into a situation trying to play captain. Captain save,
So did you want to get in some of these ways of ladies being covered? And because I wanted to ask the ladies
We definitely
themselves, how do you want to be covered?
I feel like we've been left uncovered and we have been through the most. And in return, we get left having to pick up pieces. It's easy sometimes for men to walk away. You rarely hear about women walking away when it comes to their families. And that's just being real. It happens, but not as much as men.
I think, and I agree with you, I believe that from my perspective, women stay and walk away. They can stay emotionally. Women can stay. They'll stay with the children, but they'll walk away from them emotionally. And we're seeing that now. They're walking away to live their best life. And that's why these young men are left.
Because there's no balance.
That's why these young men are left at home to figure out things for themselves. That's why the young ladies are left at home to figure out things on their own. Now, they may stay because of financial reasons. Well, I'll keep the children because I can get the child support check, right? But they walk away in other ways, right? It's nothing new to men not staying, but it's something new about this energy and the spirit that these children are being left with now, because that's why I said it's the spirit of being disrespected. The father physically walked away and the mom emotionally walked away and stayed there. It leaves abandonment issues.
Absolutely.
Okay? Because your mom...
That's from both.
Yeah, your mom is there, but it may look a little something like this. Girl, get out of my face. I ain't got time for this. I've been working all day. Oh, just go sit down somewhere, right? So...
Well, call me guilty, honey. So we got to call her. Hi, welcome to Creative Emotions. Who am I speaking with?
Hello world. I want to thank y'all so much for inviting me to this party.
What's going on,
Thank
fam?
you. Hey.
Okay, yeah, so I'm calling on behalf because I feel as though the situation could have been diffused and no one could have lost their life. Not a man, Mr. Brown, he could have just went to jail because prior to them arguing, it wasn't no you know what I'm saying, no weapons involved. He just kept raising his voice like, be quiet,
Yeah.
be quiet. And while that old man running out, the young man that shot Mr. Brown, he was standing in the door.
Yep.
So the old man, he could have just said, hey, young blood, just be cool. Look, you know what I'm saying? It's all right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they let the little boy shoot the man up. So, like, I felt like this whole situation could have been diffused. And I understand y'all just saying, like, you got to be careful on what situations you jump in. But
Definitely.
It wasn't even that serious because he wanted someone. Because he kept on saying, oh, my grandma.
Yeah.
He wanted someone to stop him.
Wow.
But no one stopped him.
Wow.
He was calling
You think
for
that
somebody
was a
to
cry
stop
out?
him.
You think that was a cry out?
Yes, that was. Because he kept on saying, say one more. Because if you was going to do what you needed to do,
You was just going to do
you
it.
would have done it in the beginning.
Got
You know what I'm
you.
saying?
Yeah.
So he wanted that.
Yeah.
And it could have been diffused, but nah. So everybody be ready to look for mess and be ready to be like, oh, let me record it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They want to go
Like,
viral.
but it didn't have to be that. Now this young man got this on his record. Everybody's saying, yeah, this was his mother. He needed to do that. But what if it could have went the other way? And what if that judge didn't think that it was okay for them to drop the case?
Yeah.
So now this young man is gone.
Yeah.
His rest of his life is gone.
That,
Because he
that
needed
was
to
the
protect his
technicality that he got
You know what I'm
off.
saying?
Seriously, that was actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree with
So
you.
even the mom, because we hear different parts of this story, right? They saying she texted him and said, "Bring my gun." So he had it on his person, not coming to shoot. He just didn't get to her to give it to her. I don't believe he came in there to shoot him.
Yeah.
Because he's 14 years old. Of course not.
Right.
But after seeing what he saw. And again, I conversed with my son, and he's 15, and I put the whole scenario before him. He said, "Ma, I would have used that gun." Because the
And that's
way
just
he
that.
attacked him, you know what I'm saying? Nobody could have just sat there if that was your family member. No, even if you jumped on grabbing his hair, busting him in the face,
that's what I'm
somebody
saying,
was
like,
going to do something.
Even the other people that was in there, after they seen this lady get hit one time, they could have grabbed my man.
Oh, they was out of there.
But
Absolutely.
they stood there.
No, they
so
was out.
The little boy didn't have nothing to do but to shoot.
That's true.
Yeah, they were too busy filming it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's what we go wrong at that, because we want to hurry up and put it on Snapchat. We want
Yeah.
That
this
part right
generation is
there.
doing things for clout.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
I
But
thank
I'm gonna
you.
just go ahead. I'm gonna keep on watching. I'm
No,
gonna say, let
that's
me
what's
go
up.
ahead.
I thank you. I thank you
you.
so much for your opinion. Again, we all think different. This scenario is very unfortunate for all parties involved, but I do
Yep.
thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
All right, God bless y'all.
All right,
See y'all.
same to
right,
you.
you too.
Bye. Man, it's serious. That's crazy. And I'm telling you, everybody in the world is judging this. And this mom, and now they're saying she's about to sue the police for arresting her after she was attacked. But every situation has to go through a process. You know what I'm saying? They got to do their due diligence to find you innocent. So I'm kind of lost with that part of it. I would just be happy that I have my freedom and I'm able to hug and kiss my son. But that's just me. When the lawyers get in your ear, hey, ain't no telling.
That's that part right there. And even though they dropped the charges on this young man, he's still faced with a life sentence because he took someone's life. So his life
Yeah.
will never be the same.
That's serious.
And even for the mom, a lot of guys probably won't want to deal with her. Be like, man, because so both of them did,
because of the son, Lord,
be
don't
like,
do that.
No, just because of they know that things can maybe escalate and they just don't want to end in that situation.
Wow.
So both
Because we
of
don't even
them,
know if she have. They never said anything about a husband or.
I know. So
you don't see a man
We
or
look at
anything.
the point where they walked away, but both of them got a life sentence. So when we look at this situation, I said, well, wow. So it's dropping the charges so soon. I think it was a lack of investigation. Maybe
They said they
could have
didn't-
reviewed it for a little bit longer. I'm not sure, but it just sends a signal that, hey, maybe I can get away with this also. We got to look at it this
But
way,
look,
people.
the next day, the white lady that shot the black lady through the door, they said they don't have enough evidence to charge her with murder.
Oh, yeah. See?
And she shot through her door. Through her door. That's an automatic. If you got a weapon, you can't do that. So it's so many things like we can say, oh, rah on this case, but then now we looking crazy on this one. So we gotta be very careful.
All about it. I've been in a situation where I presented all type of paperwork, and at the end it was like, oh, we don't have enough evidence. I said, well, really? Because it seemed like a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we gotta...
Like, this woman is shot through the door, talking about they don't have enough for murder, but now we over here cheering because this woman and her son got off. We can't not look at this going on, so we got to be careful. It's a lot of distraction going on, man.
I think I had read something. I don't know if I told you. I did. I think I texted to you, and I said, I don't know if I put it in the. I forgot how I said it, but it was basically like the world is okay with everything else but sin. They're okay with everything else but sin, right?
Yeah. So bring that up. It's like,
right.
Who you think you are? Like, right is right, wrong is wrong. We know we have an innate.
I work with people that were talking about it, and as they talked about it, they were laughing about it. You know, and I was like, wow, is it what we doing?
Nothing funny about this.
I had to walk away from the conversation because I was like, wow, this is what we doing right here?
You know, everybody's been putting out, we are in a mental health crisis, yes. mental health. We do have to take that into account. But I hope that people are not using it as a crutch and as a way out to act a fool. Like, okay, at some point, get you some help. If you know you going through and you have these moments where you are out of control, you know that you're hurting people, you apologize more than you have good conversations, that means you need to go and get some help. Don't keep making excuses about it. Don't blame it on your mother, your father, back in the day when you got whoopings and they beat you and all. At some point, we have to take accountability for our adult life now and be the parent that you would want to parent you when you were younger. We got to do better at some point. I just feel like we're uncovered and at some point unprotected as women. And that's how I feel.
Okay, so getting back to that, I had asked you earlier, and maybe some of the ladies, do you know how you want to be covered? Because it's just so much in social media that puts a lot of emphasis on just being covered financially. Yeah. And that's it. And
no.
Okay, look, I'm going to finish this. So it's a lot of emphasis out there where you really want to be covered spiritually. Right? So then you turn a lot of red flags green because of financial. See, I was going to wrap it up for you. Because the financial part is so good to you. So your true covering you were meant to have and you really need, you kind of slide that to the side because maybe the financial was so good to you. So I just ask ladies, ask yourself, how do you truly want to be covered at the end of the day? That's all I'm saying, Q.
I mean, that's real. That's real. And I think sometimes we do have a false sense of what that looks like because we don't know what it looks like.
Absolutely.
Because the men are not in position. That's just it. We need men in positions. We need y'all to stay at home. Stop leaving your homes for temporary feelings. When these children need you, your wife, if you pick that woman, she needs you. And if you pick that man, he needs you. Not to tear him down and rip him apart and tell everything he done did wrong and talk about him till you're blue in the face. I done been there and done that. That is not effective. So we all got to do better. Again, if you're just joining, I'm not just saying women are uncovered. Men are uncovered. Yes. Children are uncovered. We got to do better. But some say it's the equality movement. That's why women are the way they are. Or they say women are more masculine. Or they say women want to be men.
Yeah, and I look at that part, and sometimes I'll sit back, and when I've heard a couple women say, especially at my job, and they clearly moving in masculine energy, and they talk about feminine energy, they say, well, that's back in the day. They didn't know no better.
Wow.
They didn't know no better, right? So they look at moving in feminine energy as a weakness, as being weak. And actually it's not, because it's feminine energy. It just have a guy it's intoxicating, right?
Back in the day, honey, they used to dress to impress, just to go to the store.
Who's that?
The women back in the day. Now they got SpongeBob pajama pants
hands
and
on,
bonnets
bonnets
with their
on.
house shoes on. Now you about to take your house shoes from outside.
I'm gonna tell you my thought. When I see them at 4:00 in the afternoon, I'm taking 2 steps back. I'm like, you had that on all day? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, my goodness.
It gets back to what I was saying before. I had some scriptures I was gonna share, but
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
not, because I want you to do the work. Things are so easy for us today, and if you want it, it's right. You can Google it. You know
What is the scripture pertaining to?
how a man should, the true meaning of a man covering a woman spiritually, and that's what. But they say a wife. So my thing is,
that's different.
So my thing now is, are you even positioning yourself as a wife? Because that's eventually what you want. If not, you stay out here and you are going to be exposed and uncovered. That is part
That's
of
true.
being covered, ladies.
That is true.
I know it's fun out here, and I think most women love to operate in masculine energy because it's exciting. And maybe operating in feminine energy is too much work. It takes discipline, right?
That's your guess?
That's my guess.
That's your guess? That's what you
No,
think?
that's my life experience.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of fun. You know, it reminds me back in the day when you had that one young lady that would come each summer to come stay with her grandma, but her grandma made her sit on the porch. Right? Now, you come to the porch, but she wasn't getting off that porch because grandma understood, right, where she was at in life. So it brings a light to me, like I'm finally off the porch and I'm all over the place. I ain't got to sit on the porch no more, right? But on that porch, you were covered because grandma understood what was waiting beyond the porch.
Okay. That's real.
So sometimes...
So you saying being married is the ultimate women being covered?
No,
right?
no.
I mean,
I'm not
that's
saying
kind of
that.
what that looks like when you're a wife.
No, I'll get back to how you position yourself. So it's a lot of ladies that will be out late at night. You're not positioning yourself right. You're uncovered.
Okay.
Right? You're not covered. You're out late. Sure, you got a son at home, but you're still coming home at 4 a.m. You didn't call them and say, hey, watch your mama come in the house. You like, I got this. Because he sat on the phone in the driveway for a little while.
Ooh-wee.
Right? You posting pictures, doing what you got to do. You're not paying attention to your surrounding. You're not watching how you
So we got to keep our head on the swivel.
Right. Back in the day, it was like your sister be home soon. Put your shoes on, make sure she get to the door. Right?
Yeah, we got to do better.
Right. So it's just the way you're positioning yourself. And ask yourself, how do you want to be covered? And have you uncovered yourself? I'm not saying that the guy's not doing what they doing. It's always been...
Because a lot of them, they don't know how.
Yeah, since the beginning of the time, it's always been bad spirits. Right? But the only reason why you are here because your forefathers and mothers were smart enough to position themselves so they can survive, so you could be here. And I need you to do the same thing.
Definitely.
Be smart and intelligent enough to say, hey, this is not good. Even guys, man, I ain't about to be out late like this because I already know, right?
Look,
Let me go home too. Let me go home too, you know, before I catch a stray one. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
how many
for real.
people in history of time has just been there
Wrong place,
and they
wrong
say,
time.
wrong take. Innocent person got caught by, because they know maybe you should have went home 3 hours ago.
Yeah, and you knew
Right?
it.
So it goes back to controlling your desires. Your desire can be not to be submissive to the word of God. You know, you just want to do what you want to do because it's more fun. Right? So let's watch how you position yourself. Ladies, since we're talking about that, because you just may be uncovering yourself.
Yeah, that's a real thing. We have to get back to the roles. As much as people want to fight the thought of gender roles, when we lose touch with this, these type of things happen. Again, I don't need no man for this, or I don't need no man to do this. And I don't, listen, I seen somebody post something and a woman was changing her tires. I'm like, I don't need no man, her hands was real dirty. I said, honey, what? what do you have to prove? Where is this coming from? But we need men more than ever to not abandon your roles as fathers, to fight for your children. We need mothers not to take things personal and stop withholding your children from their fathers. We need women to not be selfish and doing this thing for your own reasons. You're hurting your children. We really need to deal with this thing. And this is, again, we're talking about being uncovered. The men being uncovered, the women being uncovered, the men feeling like the whole world is against them. They come home, they woman against them, then the kids against them because the woman been talking about them. And so we got to think about all of this. All of this play a role and, in this cycle of being uncovered. We need friends to start holding each other accountable. I ain't that ride or die friend. Honey, I'm going to tell you when you're wrong now. I'm going to tell you, my married friends, I don't play. Hey, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching. Kevin Davis, say what's going on, everyone?
Oh, what's up, fam? That's my brother-in-law.
Who's that? Ford?
I think that's my
Favorite
brother-in-law.
70. Oh, heck no. No woman likes to display masculine energy. Oh, yeah, that must be Miss K. Hey, thank you for watching. Yeah, honey. And leave us out here looking crazy. But we need to hold our friends accountable. When my friends call me, the ones that's married, and they get to talking about their man, I be like, what you do? And I'm just saying, no, what did you do? Then they tell me, I be like, why you say that? This made them feel like this and this and that. And they was like, dang, he said that too. Yeah. So if we start holding our friends accountable, some marriages might stay together.
I
versus
agree.
being like, girl, forget that. And listen, everybody's situation different. I ain't put my 2 cents on nobody's relationship. No more.
I want to share something. And I think I told one of my friends this before I wrote it down. I said, and we were talking, they were talking about the Prince Charming. And I said, well, ladies, maybe your Prince Charming hasn't showed up because you're too busy being your own.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because it came under the discussion about being uncovered, right? So if we retract some of these statements, and I talked to some men about what they heard the most from ladies, and the ones that came out, and because I know we got a few minutes, was, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man for anything. I can do anything a man can do. I'm out here getting my bag. I'm not asking nobody for nothing.
Yes, all that.
And so what men are doing, the ones I talk to, they've heard it so much, and maybe you have not said this, but men are finally starting to get this, like, she good without me.
Wow.
They've heard it so much because most, if you're single, you've been dating. So you've at least maybe out of 5 women, you heard it from 3 of them.
Wow.
And if you take that and you are over 50 years old or 40, you've heard it enough. So now guys, what they're doing, and I'm going to lead back where I'm going with this, guys are finally getting it. Oh, they don't need us. They're good. So these men are taking their energy and their time, putting it into their business, their purpose, and that's how women are being left uncovered.
Wow.
I'm just saying, from talking to the guys, they finally get it. Like, they get it now. Y'all don't need us.
We
y'all
need
good.
y'all, okay? I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. We need y'all.
I'm just saying.
Get in position. Don't feel that way. It's just a few of them. They don't know what they're talking about right now. They getting there.
But men are finally starting to get it.
I got you.
She's good without me.
But you know what? Men, we need men to stop trying to take ownership of women, because that is a part of abuse when it comes to you or mine. We don't belong to anybody. We are here on this journey, and when you decide to marry somebody, you're deciding to spend your life with this person. You're deciding to become one, which is an agreement. That does not mean you own a person. The ownership, I feel like, changes the mindset, which brings that woman trying to fight for her independence. You bring the man trying to say, hey, I married you, you my woman, and you mine. Take the ownership out of it. Start to enjoy people. Enjoy people where they are. Let them grow up. Are you the same person last year?
Oh,
No.
no, not at all.
So guess what? You're not gonna get the same person. You're gonna keep evolving. You're gonna have to keep learning and saying, I'm going to love you. You have to make a decision to love a person, to accept a person over and over and over. And so I think we all need to get that.
Yeah, and I want to throw this in for the guys because I heard you. I don't think it's so much about the ownership. Men look at teamwork. So with a woman, when he marries a woman, he says she's part of the team, right? So it's not so much ownership. Even lions watch over their pride, right? And another lion can't come in or they fighting to the death. So that is part of the covering. And I would just like to say that.
Yeah.
And then I like to throw this in. No one stays the same, right? You're under contract if you play for the NBA. But the better you get, now you're going to renew that contract, right? And I want a little bit more this time. And how that looks in relationships, like, sweetheart, you've been doing such an amazing job. This week, this time next year, I'm adding in some back rubs, whatever. So everybody's value increases because you don't stay the same. And it makes a person want to do more for you, right?
Yeah.
The longer, like you said, when you stay in this marriage, we're talking about with positive energy here. You get what I'm saying? I'm not just saying you're just out there doing whatever, but if you're moving in a positive direction. So no one stays the same. No one's ever compatible. How can you be if you with somebody who's growing?
Everybody's growing. Everybody's
Right,
different.
so you're never really going to be compatible. Someone's going to be here for a while. And, but it's okay. But guess what? I'm taking you with me. I'm pulling you up. I ain't letting you down. Say you want to go to this event, man, there'll be some very nice people. Q will be like, yes, I do. Be like, all right, put that dress, that red dress, put that on. We go down here, and I'm going to introduce you to some people, right? This is what I'm into right now. No one gets left behind.
That's
even
true.
when someone's a little bit further ahead, right?
It's all about mindset. It's all about mindset.
It is, most definitely.
We need men to take authoritative roles within reason. Now, we ain't telling y'all how to be men, but you know when you're going overboard. You know it. We all need to take accountability and responsibility.
Absolutely.
Women, too. You need to take your role to be quiet sometimes. Just bring it down a little bit sometimes. You know, I feel like our role is to regurgitate what you tell us. That's what we're here for. We are your prophetess. We are, here to let you know, hey, remember you told me this. But if you with the wrong man, and they be talking about, you're nagging and all this other stuff. So we just gotta respect and honor each other where we are.
Absolutely. Cute.
Definitely being married is being covered. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Just know what you want. And so I want to encourage the men, make those decisions. Choose better women. Know what you want. That's for all men.
Yes.
Know what you want. And if you are in an abusive relationship, please consider your life and don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Don't play with it.
Consider not knowing when a person has had it. Just consider that. You don't know that. And so, again, you don't want to be the tip on somebody's iceberg. Be kind. Be love. Don't give up on love. Embody love. And help is available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. And make sure you be here next week, Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We will be here. Again, we were talking about being uncovered. You don't want to be uncovered. Women, men, children, we have to cover each other. So thank you so much for joining. Meet us here next week. I love you to life. There's nothing you can do about it. Peace. That was Junior.